don't know, like cursed skin. I don't really know what that effect is.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's like almost burnt, but
yeah.
it's not. Yeah, that's neat.
As always, you have your, this is...
There's a patch notes today. Well, patch notes. It's a Titan talk where they go over the upcoming patch on Monday, so a week from today. And then they'll cover it deeper throughout the week. And then we'll get actual patch notes next Monday. We're covering it. We're talking about it. We're going over it. So let's get into it.
Better?
We don't have to listen to them talk too much. So we got Apollo.
So I'm going to...
We got Apollo
okay, they can hear
coming.
the laptop. Great. So he's looking really great. I think like the model got a decent update. We'll look at it more out of match.
Yeah.
But the face looks a lot better. He looks a lot more like a real boy, I would say. So I think he's looking pretty good. In terms of kit-wise, what should people expect from this?
I don't think his kit really changed much
type
at all. Like, I think it's like the same kit, right?
So Apollo is an interesting character because when he was first released to where he ended up being in Smite 1, he actually got a lot of quality of life improvements over the time. He got new ways of getting his audacity up. He got
a lot of his came later on.
Like the amount of utility he has is really, really insane.
Yeah, the ult has a +1,
so
but nothing else. I don't think.
Kind of +1 him. It was actually really difficult to find a spot. So most of his kit is pretty much identical because we think his Audacity loop feels really good. He has enough ways to build it up that are really interesting. His one is a straight damage source ability, just feels good to use. The Mesmerize utility, the Dash utility, the team buffing utility, the global ult presence, they're all really, really good. And so if we were to +1, it had a very high risk of just bloating him. So we focus on...
Before we get deeper, I think his ult will be OP in Smite 2. I think a good, like, obviously not for every shitter, but for someone using that ult correctly, I think it is going to be very, very OP.
Something that was a bit just kind of new rather than just being a let's just make this ability more powerful.
Yep.
And so some people have already kind of guessed because of things that they know ahead of time. Apollo's ult is the place where we did the +1.
And disclaimer, chat.
Show it.
We can't show it, but disclaimer that there are still a few things that are temp in what we're showing off today.
They can't show it.
Okay?
Yes.
This is an early look. So when I show you the ultimate, there are going to be some temp effects on some stuff. So
yes. So yeah, obviously temp effects, they'll be there. We're working on getting them all fixed up today. But his ultimate will actually now allow people to travel with him in the chariot. So there's a few rules on this. So when you ult, you'll be able to see the circle. That circle is going to be replaced with a VFX. It's basically like a, hey, everyone get in, ride the chariot with me. When they actually interact with it, so you interact to get into it, you'll turn into a ball of light, kind of like how Athena, when she turns into, like, she dashes with the one, she can turn into the ball of light. You turn the ball of light and you basically ride along with the
how many
chariot,
people can
and then
get in
when
it?
He lands, you'll eject wherever he lands as close as possible to where
Is
like
that 4?
you're offset left a little bit to him when you're like
Up to
flying his
2?
ball. You'll land.
2
to
is
the
so
left of
crazy.
the
I thought
ball.
1 was crazy.
So he can actually take people across now. So if you're in duo lane and there's a fight breaking out that you feel like, oh, there's like 3 people, 3v3 in mids happening right now. We actually want to go join that. You can take your support with you. You could leverage more split push. You could do a lot of different things with this. And we felt like this is just a cool way to make the ult feel like it has more team presence. And it's not just a strict all the time buff to a kit that already has a lot of stuff going on.
yes. And I am in...
Is this the first ability / ult that removes the high point of walls? So now in Spectator, are we going to be able to turn that shit off?
dev cheat mode right now, so I have infinite mana.
They're enabling split pushing? Yo, if they drop this in the game with the current state of the game, there will be mass split pushing and objective play. It will be straight objective. Take your tower, objective, take your tower, objective, take your tower.
Mana if you're ferrying people.
It's not in yet, but
Okay.
that will be. So balance considerations is obviously being able to take people with you.
It's gonna cost more mana if someone's with you.
There's no, you can't take 5 or 4.
So you will not be able to go that far. I'm betting with 2 people.
When you take people, the mana cost that you will take will be increased, and that's just the way that I was going to implement it was, and it's just again not in yet. Is if you decide to take 1 person, it's just a flat amount more. If you take 2, it's the same amount, just because. I want the penalty to be pretty aggressive so that even if you take 1 person, it feels pretty impactful. If I had that scale with 2, you probably just go instantly, which I don't think really feels that fun. So finding the balance between the fun and the balance of the effect, but you will take more mana. If we also have
this god does take way more skill at a core level, but it is one of the best pushing gods and auto attack gods and objective burners in the game, assuming it still works the same.
a lot of other knobs we can turn depending on how strong this is, because this is one of our first worries when we first got it in was, is this going to potentially like just fundamentally break the game in a way that people have really hard times playing around? Other things we can do if it is OP is also slow him down. We can make him go slower because it also you're carrying more weight. So you gotta-
slower would be interesting
so we have a lot
too.
of
They should
knobs to
do
turn.
both.
The first one we're going to do is more mana cost while you're going, but we think this is just really cool team utility. And Apollo's base kit, we just focused on really making sure that the base kit felt fluid, felt good, worked as you expected, had good feedback on it, because largely we this kit stands kind of as
You'll
is.
go
We have a lot of kits like
if
that
it's
where
extremely
the
mana
capability
intensive, you'll
kinda
build
holds
trans.
up
But
to
remember,
a test of time.
in Smite 2, a lot more items have mana and mana regen. Remember, mana regen is better in Smite 2. It's per second rather than per 5. Process that.
We think Apollo's one of them, so we think this +1 is just interesting.
Yeah, and
I think this +1 is going to be impactful to the game, but I do think it's a little boring.
There's a couple
like,
people that
for
are
the
trying to push down our
individual
Phoenix.
god.
Somebody has to back to stop that, and then they hop in
But
the
they can do
chariot
more
and
with
they
an
go to
aspect,
fire
so
giant
you
or
can't really
something,
do
right?
that.
So there's a lot of like macro play that you can do that's really interesting.
Yeah. Or you can take your ally to a fight and then lose a 3v1 like happened in our playtest.
Yes, we have done
the game can snowball pretty badly from that point.
One second. I was the Neath earlier. Is the Smite source build bad? No, you had Haste and Fatalis. That is not on any Smite source builds.
Lots of fun stuff you can do with him.
But other than that, he's kind of the Apollo you know and love, right? He's got these basic attacks that build up his Audacity passive. And
His
once it
autos
gets
look a little
to,
different, like
here,
thicker.
I gotta go.
chunkier.
I should spawn a bot. That would be
Yeah.
a smarter way of doing this. Once you get to 10 stacks, then your next 5 autos are
I always
faster.
liked Apollo's
100%
autos when I
attack
was
speed
playing
with
him.
those
He was one of my
autos.
favorite auto attack gods, just the pure
Also,
auto
one other
attack.
note is this is his new auto attack sound when he got reworked. I've talked with Kellen a little bit about making that kind of a middle ground between the old sound and the new sound. Because the new sound has a lot of like clinking metal that some people didn't necessarily like. But the old sound is pretty hollow and it doesn't have much oomph to it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at trying to make a nice balance between the two rather than just reverting to old Apollo sound, but that's not in yet. So yeah. Also, the VFX package, if you use his abilities, like if you just uses 2, uses 3, you can see he has a lot of really cool VFX.
I
If
think
he
it
uses
is
1,
Shadow,
he
but
gets
I'm not
different
100%.
notes that
I'll have to
at the
upload
end.
it if
That's
it's not.
That looked like a 16th note. Yeah, 16.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Got a little
Bass
treble
clef.
clef, bass clef. Okay, sorry. I play guitar, so I can't actually read music. I can just read tab.
But yeah, it's just a lot of really cool touches to his kit, and obviously we still have some stuff we need to do. But
Yeah, and even the
he's looking
dash
really good.
just like looks good, feels good.
Very
I think that we
bright.
did a really good job on these effects
Yeah,
and
in your
making really
face.
clear like where you're hitting and where you're not hitting.
Yeah.
Like the edges of
I
the
will.
effects
They are right
very
about that. You
clean
can definitely
without
see
being
the edge of
overwhelming.
the abilities.
I love this like little like buff that is that's the little like whatever that
Well,
buff
yeah,
is.
so that buff is, I just fixed that earlier.
Okay.
That's the, it's his protection buff. It's supposed to be around him, but yeah, it's on the floor.
Young Master, thank you for the 89
Sockets
months.
are
Wait, did it pop
weird.
up? I missed it.
And we still are a little ways out from
Did
this.
it pop up? I wasn't paying attention.
It's actually going live. We're just giving you guys an early look. So
Yep.
Hello,
Is
Sheep.
there a way to stop people from doing it? Nope, there is not a way to stop, because it's one of those things where it's like, how would you actually stop people from doing it?
And they have to come over here and interact with you, right? It's
Yeah.
like sometimes it's like, especially with teams that aren't paying attention, it's like, please come with me, please.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't. So it does require your teammates to pay attention. Can we get an Uber driver Apollo skin?
He does have the race car skin.
The very first clip I'm going to post of Apollo ult is going to be me dropping my 2 teammates into their base. 100% dropping my 2 teammates in their base the very first ult. There's no way I'm not.
He does have the race car. We could probably reskin that. Yeah, that could work.
What up, Grizz?
But cool, yeah, so
That's Apollo. He's pretty straightforward, but he
Yeah.
is, he does what it says on the tin.
Apollo has
he's
always
Apollo,
played him
he
solo
plays
lane,
like Apollo, he
unfortunately. I
feels
hope it
good.
doesn't work.
He's been good in our playtests. I have been blown up by him many
Third,
times.
thank you for the
recently.
75 months.
But Aspect Apollo is a whole different thing.
Yes.
Should we can I switch to Aspect?
yeah, you can
there's-
just,
what's
it's
the
just
command?
test talent, space Apollo _talent _
Those are new sub emotes. The bigger, the
Okay.
longer the
Aspect
sub, the
of
bigger
harmony.
the forehead.
Yep, aspect of harmony. So
Should I just mouse over this, or you want to talk about it
yeah,
before
you
I
can,
mouse?
you can
Yeah,
mouse
I'll
over
show
it
this
so
one
you can
more
read through it.
time.
So
Watch
I'll
this.
just read through it. Audacity now grants free
Thank
so
you for the
beautiful
60
fast,
months,
but no
James.
attack speed. So beautiful scales with item health, lowers enemy attack speed, and grants nearby allies attack
custom.
speed on god or boss hit, but deals less base damage. Serenade now shields nearby
over
allies,
it.
but applies no
It's
protections,
so
and buffing an
bad.
ally grants audacity attack. So I actually changed that. I need to update the
I'm
text.
sorry. It's too
Serenade
funny.
will grant shields, and while they're shielded, they will have the protections, but once the shield breaks, they lose those protections. So need to update there. But basically, the idea here is that this is support Apollo aspect. He's a high utility hunter in general. Having an AoE CC Mez is pretty tanky. It's good tank utility. Having a dash that knocks people up is really good utility. Having a dash that slows people and gives like a 6-second movement speed buff is really good. And so we wanted to play with that.
Well, that knockup is, like,
so
dinky.
the idea here is that you can build up your audacity by actually buffing your teammates, and we made buffs more
Buffing your
applicable
teammates
and
gives you
added new
audacity?
ones. So you can see there, as you use your 1, you hit and a flying note goes flying to them. That's an attack speed buff for them. You apply an attack speed slow to the enemy. Your 2 gives a shield to your team.
What? These weren't in Smite 1, right? What?
Teammates and does the normal mess stuff. That counts as a buff. Your 3 also gives a buff. Every time you give a buff or do
You can give your teammates attack speed?
you get audacity stacks. And you can see here that he actually he
I
actually
have infinite cooldowns on.
Oh,
so
it's
it's
the
hard to see, I
aspect.
guess.
Okay,
Well, actually,
thank God,
you're
thank God.
actually showing
So we
just
support Apollo
because
aspect.
what ends up happening is when you get to
Buff
10
bot Apollo
audacity,
aspect. Okay,
your
that scared
icon
me for a
changes.
second.
That's
I was
your
like, this
free
is
one.
crazy.
So you can start building toward your next one right now. So you can see here that you're actually building toward your next. So if you just keep auto attacking and get like go to 10 again, you actually chill at 10. And then you can so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, and that will actually be a real thing you can do in game.
That's pretty cool.
Very strong.
Yep.
And so beautiful scales not off physical power. It scales entirely
Lower
off
damage, but you
natural
get
from
spammable
items.
abilities that buff your
so
teammates.
you want to be building a lot of health items if you're
Yep.
playing support
Health-based?
aspect Apollo.
Yep, you
Okay.
build your Gauntlet of Thieves is going to be really core on him. Health
And
items are
these
really
new
core on
items
him.
that they
And
showed
then your
today
focus is really
are
to buff your teammates, bring that
fucking-
buffing utility. Kind of like
I don't want to hear any more shit from these tanks after these items. After you see these items today, okay? I don't want to hear a fucking word from these fucking tanks. If I hear anything, we all show up to their house. I don't know what we do. We don't do anything bad, but we show up to their house.
we had the idea of him being a bard, right? Like that's really where the inspiration for this came from.
Yeah.
Is he does all the musical things. You
And
get
he
to
has
play
a-
the classic bard role.
There were a lot of like supporty elements to his kit already,
Yeah.
especially with the taxi ultimate, right? I think that also ties a little bit more to the support playstyle. I mean, it works as a hunter, but it also is interesting in a support kind of playstyle. So
Yeah. And then some people were already mentioning one of the things we also discussed with the Apollo +1 was, does this make Horus useless when he ends up coming into the game? Horus Ult was already something I wanted to take another stab at when we get to him. I was the actual designer on Horus, and
good job, one of my favorites.
He's a really fun character. The
Okay. I don't want to sit on pod or until you in for trying to hype up pod. Horus Ult was always dog shit. I'm sorry. It was always dog shit.
kind of dropship ultimate was really
That
cool.
character's
but there's
1,
some
2
clunk to
was
there.
so
I think there's some
1, 2, 3
things
is
that we
so
can do to
OP
make
that
more
his
fluid. I
all
think we
being
can make
dog
it
shit
more
was
cool
irrelevant.
for him to just use on his own. That's where I would have most of my +1 ideas for him anyway. So I think we're going to be able to do pretty good differentiation, and he still has the advantage.
I feel like with the aspect being a support aspect, you should be able to ult everybody.
Is, and it can actually move other teams like Apollo. So I think we have some room for differentiation there.
So a lot of fun stuff here. I think everybody's excited about both Apollo and Apollo's aspect.
Yep.
But there's more stuff to show off before we leave the map.
Early
and go out of
Apollo
game.
wall.
And
Oh, what the
Apollo's
fuck?
aspect.
Before it was
Yep.
balanced. I'm talking
but there's
about
more
when
stuff
it was
to show
left.
off
When it
before
was
we leave the map and
balanced.
go
Oh
out of
shit.
game. We have. I'm going to show off.
I'm not talking about when you could fly across the whole
cosmetic
map in
thing.
0.1
There's a new
seconds.
Cosmetic that we've added
That was
to the
just
game.
stupid.
Okay.
Just because I have it equipped and I'm standing right here. There's a new thing in supporter store this time where we now have 2 different skins for your teleport effects.
Oh, cool.
And they're 2 different versions of the same fireball. So this is a red fireball instead of your
Oh, that's
purple
neat.
ball. There's also a blue one. They come in a bundle. I think it's priced right around $10. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. But just a fun new little supporter store item that the dev team was able to get in. So
It is always crazy because I'll come on these shows and I'll watch these shows, and you think that I would know everything coming into a patch, but I have no idea. So that's cool. That's neat.
So we have that, and then the other thing that we need to show before we leave in game
I gotta address this.
is that we
gotta
have
talk about this.
some.
All right. The milking money on skins and shit. I know Goro was just trolling, but I've seen this comment so much. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody making something that has no impact on what happens or goes on in a game. It is a cosmetic. If you don't like it or don't want it, you don't have to buy it. Milking money means somebody wanted it, right? If someone bought it, someone wanted it. Okay, we're processing this. All right.
New items.
Yes, we have 5 new items.
5 is a lot.
Coming to OB10.
And it's probably worth mentioning now that because we have 5 new items, there is not a second new aspect in this
Correct.
update.
Yeah.
We decided to put the dev time into making
tanks.
more items
They're all
because we
tank
thought that
items.
would have more of an impact on the game, right?
Yeah, and you'll see when we show off the items.
I am a little scared about these items. I read them. I didn't like theory craft. I just read over them. I will be surprised if they don't break some part of the game by being too strong. I will genuinely be surprised. I don't know what part that will be. We're gonna find out pretty quick, I think.
Why we want to focus our time there. We're also going to try something with them, which is we're going to stagger their release.
Bro, I don't remember anyone ever asking for this though, brother. Nobody talks to you. Nobody would have asked anything to you. Of course, you don't fucking know what people want. When you are building a product, it's your job as the product builder to figure out what people want, not the consumer's job to figure out what other consumers want. If they made the skin and someone bought it, it makes them money. It's weird to complain about as someone who wasn't interested in buying it in the first place, considering it's all cosmetic. It affects you in no way, shape, or form. It's crazy to be like, oh, Hirez is making money. You're mad about that? Like, are you, like, what level of loser do you have to be mad that somebody's making money? That's fucking crazy.
So there's going to be a few ones that we want to come out on OB10, and there's going to be a few that kind of come in to replace the aspect launch that we normally have.
Honestly, even the really expensive name color changes, same shit. It doesn't affect you at all. And people are like, that's crazy price. Obviously, Hirez didn't give a fuck, and they only wanted it for the super supporters that wanted to spend a fuck ton of money because they had the money to spend. Crazy.
That also gives us some more time just to make sure that those are properly implemented and tuned. So just a little bit of splitting up there, but we can go in and look at that.
Yeah,
so,
let's do it. Where do we start?
Let's start with Contagion.
Contagion.
This is a wild
So
item.
we wanted to
really
give
like the idea of
another
this.
anti-heal utility item. We also wanted to make sure that we had a really strong one for tanks that was more health focused. And so Contagion really fit that goal. So lots of upfront health. You just get a huge amount of health.
500 HP, 6 health regen per second. That's a lot. Target a location causing an enemy god or any enemy gods within to be debuffed. 75% reduced healing. So it's max anti-heal in the location. If any of those enemies that are debuffed cast while affected by it, your cooldowns are reduced by 0.25 seconds. So if you enter a fight as a tank, like you use all your abilities and throw this out onto 2 or 3 people before they've done anything, you are going to instantly have your abilities back up. And it's 6-second debuff. This is going to be a very, very good item. I think 2,150 gold it's way too low. I think it's way too low. I'm interested to see where this fits in and if it does seem as OP as it might be. Remember, it has no defense, and there are items to counter healing. So the more health you build, the better your Soul Reaver, your Kins gets. There's no way this doesn't have an internal cooldown. There's no way it doesn't have a cooldown. Are you talking about on the reduction? It doesn't seem like it, but I don't know what the actual cooldown of the item is.
Health regen. This is a pretty good amount of health if you don't want to go if you want to go like prophetic cloak stack first.
Yeah, it's not listed. It's got to have a cooldown.
Contagion's not really
It'd be insane. OP if it did it.
Which immediately applies the 75% reduction.
They said 45 seconds. That's fine. Like once a fight, basically.
It's not an active effect in an area. And if they use an ability while you have them afflicted, you get your cooldowns reduced by 0.25 seconds. So if you can hit a whole enemy team with this, you can potentially get especially as like a tank, you can get like your.
I'm gonna be honest. Y'all are thinking tanks, and I'm processing tanks, but I'm also thinking, what happens if I Hun Bats jump in with my ult, and then I drop that on 3 people? Like I combo you, drop that on 3 people, and then all my abilities are back up again. What happens if I Thanatos Scythe, and then drop that shit on you, and then I Thanatos Scythe you again? That's what I'm thinking. I'm just throwing it out there. Is it if they're it says it debuffs them, and if they're affected by the debuff, then it applies to them, and the debuff is 6 seconds. You beads and insta kill me with Reaver. All right, calm down. We already know they're gonna nerf Reaver by Friday. Relax.
Really, really
Relax,
So it's
buddy.
a big circle. It's not point blank. You can aim it a little ways out here.
Yep.
And then, bloop. Yep.
Yeah, it's literally just an area
And, I
debuff.
don't know
Like you
what the
debuff
cooldown is
people
on
in
it.
that area.
it doesn't say.
It should be a little bit. If you do slash cooldown, you'll see.
Slash.
You can see we're
I'm the
still
wrong thing.
getting things set up until it's fully updated.
Oh wait,
for
do I
everything.
type that in chat? Slash
You're
cooldown?
right,
No,
No, it won't work in
That's what I was
chat.
saying. I was like,
It should just be cooldowns.
cooldown. Sorry, you said slash cooldown, and then
Oh,
that got me
Yeah.
thrown.
I was in the Smite 1 editor earlier today, so
Yeah. 45 seconds.
yeah, there you go.
Your
Okay.
middle tower is
So yeah,
under attack.
definitely an interesting effect. Definitely new anti-heal effect. Just gives more anti.
What about mages with that item? Like, is there gonna be potential with mages on that shit, or like Aphrodite? Aphrodite about to heal like 7 times as a support. Supports might love that. Like, this item is fucking cool. It might be too cool and too OP, but we're actually getting cooler active items finally.
heal opportunity for people.
You're right, Phoenix is
Adds
under
to some of
attack.
the health builds that we've seen. We just think this is a good niche to fill. Just to provide more utility there.
I have to defend my Phoenix.
Minions.
Yeah, the Winions are just pushing. They're pushing for it.
You're right,
This is
Phoenix
why we
is
normally
under
don't
attack.
show things off in this map, but I wanted to be in this map today so I could show you the teleport effects.
Yeah. If you do no more minions as a command,
Is it no more minions?
no more minions.
Okay. Oh, CE or just no more minions one?
No, I think it's just no more minions. Nope,
Nice.
gone.
Okay, sweet.
Deleted.
That is a very
Flurry's
cheap
also like,
item.
yes, this is a command. Of course
An
he knows.
insanely cheap item.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so
I mean, just mathematically, that's infinitely better than Thebes, right? Cheaper. It's instant more health, not more health over time, but instant more health, plus the ability to use your abilities multiple times. I think the anti-heal is a little overkill. I think the debuff being 6 seconds might be a little overkill, but we'll see.
we showed off one new item. There's four
I
more.
mean,
new
I'm
items.
thinking
So
supports
let's
might
do
go
the
that
second one,
pretty
Okay.
early.
which will be
if
Erosion.
it's really as valuable as it sounds on
Erosion,
paper.
I love.
So Erosion is back. It's a double prot health item, and this is the anti-shield item. So we also have another anti-shield effect being applied to an old item. We'll save that for Wednesday because we have
Yeah.
we'll have more of our general stuff I think on Wednesday. But for Erosion, this is the anti-shield effect. So basically, this is any shield that's applied within 11.2 meters, which is a little bit more than basic attack range. This would be 70 in Smite units. Is reduced by 30%, and whenever this occurs, you gain 10% of your protections for 6 seconds.
So I get tankier when you
Yes.
make shields.
Yes.
I like it.
So if you can be the front line of the team, they can apply a whole bunch of shields, but you're going to be reducing it, and you're just going to be getting tankier for it.
I will be building this in every game, even if I am playing carry, because I have had enough of
It's
shields.
good.
I'm done with it.
Having one tank item isn't bad.
They said they put
So the
anti-shield
other
on some
three, I
other
think,
item
need a
too
bit
that's already
more
in the game.
context.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I don't
hide
think they
the
say what item
shot
it
for a
is.
second.
So
do you want like just look at us?
yeah, we can
We'll
just,
just
go
look
to
at us for a second.
So tanks. There's been a little bit of conversation about tanks.
I might have heard a little.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It has been fun watching
you, Rogue.
the back and forth videos of everyone talking about it, just seeing how generally people have reacted. I think in general, we're pretty happy with how it's gone. Our main goals were to make it so that tanks weren't, especially kind of the more bruised offensive tanks, weren't running the pace of the game. Really, at the end stages of the game, it should be the damage dealers. They should be the ones that are most in control. And we also didn't want to interfere too bad with how damage dealers versus damage dealers went. So we feel like we've done a pretty good job there. And especially from early to mid, starting to get into late, we actually think the combat pacing that is really, really good. But there is a phase in the late game where tanks should still be a bit more relevant than they are, but they do get outscaled a bit too quickly. And one aspect we think that that's happening because of is actually the payoff for being tanky just doesn't really exist. You have a Rada Tahuti for your mages as like the end game. Like, we're just going to make our int go way up.
Yep.
You have your Heartseeker, you have your the Crusher that pays off for building a whole bunch of strength items.
Let's
but
calm
there's
it
not
down.
I get
really-
my Circes for health. I guess.
Hold on, Paul. Let's calm it down. We're not comparing Crusher to Raw and everything else. Let's calm it down, okay?
Yes, maybe.
Let's calm it the fuck down, Paul.
Yeah, like,
Take a
it's
breath,
not
buddy.
really like a Rod of Tahuti equivalent
Yeah.
for tanks, right?
get
and we
what
think
he's
that
saying.
was actually just a area of itemization that we were just pretty much missing. So we built 3 new end game tank items, with the goal being that for building them, you're going to feel like you get that extra burst of tankiness generally towards the later stages of your build because they work off you having built tanky previously. And we also think that this also means that the kind of building Bruiser, these items aren't going to be necessarily for you. You already have your Shield of the Phoenix. You already have your Gladiator Shield. Pridwin is probably on the edge between Bruiser and Pure Tank.
Yep.
But you already have those itemizations to make those worthwhile. So and when you think that you really need to commit a lot of tankiness to make these items worthwhile, but they should really make you feel tanky at that point in the game. And then eventually, once
Crusher
hunters
should
are,
be
like,
flat damage. You're right,
fully
for it to be an
online
earlier game
with
item.
with a pot, with Fire Giant up, the game does need to end.
Yes.
And if you were just eating 10 auto attacks, you are going to feel it and hurt. You have to be a bit more tactical with your positioning, but we do think it's worthwhile to have these end game tank items that we've just been kind of missing. So with that said,
I'll go back. Do you want me to pull it up before I go back to the laptop?
yeah,
Or what?
we can go to laptop. We have
Okay.
3 new ones. So we have, if you go to just the scroll down, because they'll be the tank. they'll be
None
the
of
most
these
expensive
items.
ones.
Oh,
So
they
we
are.
have, let's go in order of the new ones. We have Freya's Tears, Draconic Scale, and Dwarven Plate. So
Cool names.
Freya's Tears is the anti-being bursted tank item. So you can see here you get the double protections, you get a lot of cooldown rate, and each time you lose 25% of your health, you gain a bonus 15% protections from items. This lasts for 5 seconds and can stack twice. So you take a big burst damage for being in the front line, you eat like an enemy solo ult. Haven't talked about that. Sorry. Oh well.
At some point, if that were to
If that were
occur,
to occur, this is really good for that. If you get bursted even harder, even
fun,
faster, you get even more protections. So this is just the anti. If you feel like you're getting really, really bursted down really, really quick, if you feel like you're getting like locked down by,
So this item is probably gonna be like 30 protections, right? Well, 30 of each, somewhere around there. Maybe like 30 to 40 bonus protections. But the thing is, if this, assuming this is working this way, it stacks twice, by the way. So that would be potentially 60 protections. Does it stack off of items like Spirit Robe, where they like your CC'd, you get more procs, so you're at 270, then this procs, and you get double that as well, or you get 15% off of that as well? Double, so 30% off of that as well?
by like
what
a
I'm
team
wondering.
of 3 or 4 people and they are trying to blow you up immediately, you just get a whole bunch of protections. Really, really, really good. Let's go to the next one.
Draconic Scale.
Draconic Scale. This one is the, I'm eating a whole bunch of really small fast hits. This is the Izanamis of the world. This is the Kali going tank shredder build, chin size, Tierfing, Odie bow. Really just a lot of rapid hits. So each time you take damage from a god, you gain 2 plus 3% bonus item protections against that damage type. Stacks last for 1.5 seconds with a maximum of 7 stacks, and these decay by 1 rather than being fully removed when they fall off. So
it's a base of 14 protections plus 3% from your items. Items would be somewhere around like 160 probably, right? So you're getting like what, 4 each stack on top of that. So it's like 6-ish a stack. So it's like 30 if you max stack it. But you could technically get this instantly off of gods like Anubis, Izanami, Kali, anyone, Poseidon. You could stack it instantly before you really lost much health.
if you get up to 7, when the 1.5 second timer elapses, you go to 6 stacks, then 5 stacks, then 4 stacks, then 3 stacks. So the scales kind of fall off
Yep.
if they've been built up.
And is it says it's from that damage type. So can you get theoretically 7 physical and 7 magical
Yes.
stacks? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
so if you are if you're soul and you basic attack and you have Tierfing, which I believe is physical damage, each auto attack would give you 1 for the soul magic
Oh,
side.
that's
and the
crazy.
Tierfing
Okay.
proc. So this is very good against a whole bunch of small damage types.
And then lastly,
Dwarven Plate, and this one is an active. So, Dwarven Plate, 30 physical protection, 30 magical protection. You gain an additional physical protection equal to 12.5% of your physical protection from items, and magical protection, you get 25% of your magical protection from items. Active, switch protection is increased more.
Oh,
so
that's
this
cool.
is it gives you both, it boosts both, but you get to choose which one you are more effective against. So if you have a whole bunch of both prots, but you think this fight, you know you're going to run down
Okay.
the enemy carry.
Hold on. Is going 2 of these not just going to be fucking OP? Like going 2 of these items, does this not count as item protections? Like, do these not scale off of each other, or do they? Because I feel like if they do, going 2 of these is going to be fucking insane. Only one way to know. That's what I'm afraid of. I want them to know before I have to fucking find out.
That are both physical damage, you might want to just make sure that you're in the
All right, even if these don't scale off of each other, isn't having 2 of these still going to be really, really good? Like, we're talking, if you have Draconic, I think Draconic will probably be good in almost every comp. Like, sure, eventually there will be less comps and there's more gods, but right now, almost every comp. If that's giving you 30, 40 protections, and then Dwarven is consistently giving you, I don't know, fucking 40 protections of one of them and 15 of another, doesn't that just make these good? Like, 2 of them together
Physical
insanely
side of the
good?
tree,
Yep.
Right? Or versus like, oh man, I'm getting locked down and getting blown up by these magic carries, like, that you can switch to magical protection. So, and this is an active, so you can switch it. You can only do it once every 30 seconds because we don't think the mini game of microing it mid-fight will be super fun. So really, it's the I feel like I'm engaging this specific type.
Yeah. So right now I have 138 physical.
Layla, thank you for the 4 months.
Magical.
We're in there. God damn.
If I push Q, I now have 133 and 107.
Which I don't think they can see.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't see it, but yeah, I told you it did the things when I pushed the button. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we think really it is that the tankiness of how fights happen over
Thomas,
the
thank you for the
early
42
to mid
months.
to, like early start of late game. We think that actually has been really, really good. We do think that there is too short of a period where tanks don't feel like they're effective enough in the late game, and we think that was largely due to a lack of itemization that really felt like you paid off for building pure tank. Building pure tank was just like you just kind of linearly got better over time. There wasn't that Rada Tahuti payoff that mages get, right? So we think this is going to help them. It also just having more tank variety and recognizing when certain of these are going to be better.
My third comment is, doesn't this kind of fuck up builds a little bit? Like, you are going to max out your active items every build now. So first of all, if you're shit at using active items, you better get better. Second of all, people are gonna have to pick and choose their builds based on active items. Like supports and everybody are gonna. I feel like you're gonna instantly cap your active
creative
items.
building, right? It's like it's not just I build item, I'm tanky against everything. It's like, what is the biggest threat to me? I need to choose which item I'm
like
building
the way that
based
they're
on
getting creative with the items.
I think it's an interesting angle.
One is based on if you have more health, it's more valuable potentially.
It also does mean that if you are like a tank,
another one is if it's lots of little numbers, it's better.
And then you go for
one of them is just more generic,
scaling
like
items.
The one he has on right now.
Use of that. But at that point, you're committing a lot more tankiness that we think is healthy for those items versus splashing 1 or 2 of them in a damage build and being able to just really one-shot carries. That's not where we want to go back to.
Awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Supports already run 3 active items most builds. I feel like solos do too, if they're using the right items. And now you're gonna have to drop 1 or maybe 2 of them depending on which new items you're gonna go. So I feel like they're about to run into
I think I have one more thing to show
that.
before we leave game right now.
Yeah.
better for the tanks have options, but I'm saying they're gonna run into some
let me
issues.
see if I can figure out how to do this.
Oh yeah, don't worry. By the way, junglers, we got no active items. Let's fuck ourselves, okay?
Okay, so if I go to, this is unrelated to anything we've talked about previously, but just because we're in game, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so we have a new, one of the things that we're adding in this patch is a new console-specific HUD. So if you are playing on console as a new player, this will be your default, because we have found that people like console players like HUDs that have a slightly different layout than PC HUDs. And historically, Smite PC and console always had different HUDs. So hopefully this is working. This is probably pretty close. I'm not exactly sure that this is the right layout. This might be we're still working on finalizing the sizing of things. It might be more like, might be a little more like this and somewhere in between those two. But basically the core differences are that you have your abilities in the bottom right corner, you have your actives and your consumables and your relic in the bottom left corner. Your items are a vertical thing now, and if you are...
All right, if you console players like this, y'all got some fucked up brains. Y'all got some fucking mobile game ass fucking 12-year-old Reddit brains, because this is shit. You have to be... my eyes can't go left and right at the same time. So either, if yours do, you might want to get that checked. You got to be like not locked in peripheral vision to see your abilities and your active items. This is shit. But if you guys like it, good. Maybe you'll shut the fuck up, because I'm tired of hearing console players like not happy with the console
HUD
UI.
editor. You will now have a vertical item option if you want to have your items vertically instead of as a horizontal bar.
Nice.
And then your health and mana bar are down here. So that is kind of the change that is more of a console-friendly HUD that will be a default option for people. As I said, we're still finalizing some of the scaling and specific sizing of elements.
Yeah.
But
Console players complain
should be a
about the
nice,
HUD every
benefit
video
for
I post.
console users.
Like I work for Hirez or something. So this better make them
turn the
happy.
camera off of us while I quit
I
this
have a feeling
match
it
and
won't.
go to the front, the lobby, and we can take a look at Apollo's.
Exactly, Ramon.
Here, I think I can just go back now. Okay. Oops. Wrong button. Apollo. Was that a decent?
Yeah, they said
Yeah,
PC can
Apollo.
have vertical items too. God
He
damn,
looks
man,
good.
boob to
Yeah,
the
right.
face.
He looks really good. I think the model turned out great. You know, just a lot of high quality stuff in this model. And good job to the art team on it. Then let's take a look at his Ascension Pass stuff. We have the Shadow skin.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, he's got like I don't know, like cursed skin. I don't really know what that effect is.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's like almost burnt. But
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, that's neat.
As always, you have your this is a time with hitchhikers tracker. So
I didn't realize I made it to the final because that's what internally it's called.
yeah, it looks like he could be on like one of those like Love Island or something. I don't know. He looks like he should be on a reality show with dark hair. I don't know why. Just you got little finger guns. It makes the map.
I don't care about any
so
of
there's
this.
that.
You guys shouldn't either.
Let me look at my list of things to
God
show
Builder
off yet.
improvements?
We do have the God Builder. There's a couple of improvements. So if I go to create a build, we now have filters. So
and you can
filter
search
by
for an item. Thank
stat
you.
to more
Thank
easily
you.
find the
Goodness.
specific
All right, good
types of
changes.
item that you're looking for here. This is a new thing that we are adding, which is
Account
Smite
boosters
one
are
thing.
back.
This is an account booster. So if you want to boost your account level progress, this works largely the same way as it did in Smite 1, in that you will get 25% bonus worshiper gain and 100% bonus account XP gain. But there are some changes as well because we have to make it better because it's Smite 2.
Yep.
So you will get this little avatar that shows next to your name to say that you are, currently have your account boosted. And you also will get 25. Actually, I don't know the exact number. It might change, so I'm not going to say the exact percentage because we're still finalizing this later today. You will get some percentage of wandering market experience gain boosted
nice.
for yourself. And then the other thing that is a nice benefit about this new version of it is that you will also boost the worshiper gain, account XP gain, and wandering market XP gain from matches for everybody else in your lobby. So
cool.
after a match, everybody else will get 5% bonus worshiper gain, 10% bonus account XP gain, and an amount of wandering market that we are still deciding on.
That's pretty cool.
And those will stack. So if
that's what
everybody
I
in the
asked.
lobby has a boost, then you will get 100 way as it was in Smite 1. Eventually, we may add an ability.
Is this another Prism skin we're about to see?
Next, we got skins, because everybody always wants to talk about skins. We have a classic skin that is returning to Smite 2.
This is like the 10th Prism skin already.
And with 3 new prisms, as part of a new Traveler, as a new test that we're doing. Let me go back to the laptop. Did it work? Okay, it worked.
Oh, yes,
a
these.
Prism skin in the
So
traveling
Landshark
thing.
Sobek
That's
has
cool.
made his triumphant return.
Oh, but this is one you have to buy?
With
Oh, no,
3
no.
different prisms.
Is it?
There
is,
is
yep.
the Orca Black Prism, which looks pretty great.
Yeah, that one's sick.
There's Goldfish Orange.
God
Which
damn.
is really bright.
It's very bright. It's even
Holy
brighter in game, and it's kind of great. And then my favorite is the Tubular Teal,
cool.
Oh,
which
that's
just feels
nice.
very 90s.
I hadn't seen that one yet. I
Yeah.
think.
So somebody in chat says it's Jossum. And there's also a jump stamp in here and a badge. This is not the price. This is just we're in dev. The last one and buy into the
Yeah, they're going to need a different price on that. for
Prism
sure.
bundles essentially.
expensive.
And we thought that this could be an interesting way of like, I want multiple prisms for this character. Plus I want the skin. Plus I want some. This is another thing. The team also, I believe, put in a little bit extra work to update her face and some aspects of the model a little bit that they felt like weren't quite up to modern standards.
Right.
So they did go a little bit above and beyond on this one because they liked the skin and wanted to put in the effort. So, it's not rotating. Okay, sorry, I can't rotate on the screen today. Now there are, as you may notice,
5
there
Prism
are
skins?
4 pips here, which is different than normal. Where there's 5 total because you got the
Yes.
base. So we have the Star Flare.
Oh, that one's nice.
It's pretty great. You have Nightshade, which is pretty great.
That one's neat.
You have Lunar Veil, which of the 3, I would say not my favorite, but some people
I think that
internally
one's
would
one
like
of the
this
better
one.
ones.
This one, there's definitely an audience with this one.
Yeah, and then there's a 4th one, which is Stardust.
Isn't this just like
which,
a
as you can see, has this like
like
sparkle
a master or
effect
whatever,
going
one of
onto
the
it,
regular
too.
skins?
Yeah, that's cool. That's new.
So the way that we're gonna do this, this is a classic skin, so everybody can just get the classic skin for Legacy
next one.
Gems,
That's what I was
same as all
thinking.
other classic skins, right? And then the prisms are available for purchase, but they're also available as a bundle. So basically, if you buy, and I do know the pricing on this one because we were just talking about it a minute ago. If you buy, you can buy basically one of these prisms for 600 diamonds, or you can get all 4 of the prisms for 1,200 diamonds. So for the price of 2, you can get all 4, including this one. And the only
Okay. I've been thinking about this. I don't like that they're pumping out a ton of prisms. However, this basically replaces getting the tier 2 reskins, which they made a fuck ton of in Smite 1. I mean, every patch had like 7 of them. So the more I think about it, I kind of like that they're able to just like throw it all in one spot and there they are, and they can do some other skin like right away.
only way to get the Stardust one is
I do think they
in the
gotta
bundle.
start doing.
So if
I
you
need
want
some badass
the bundle,
skins. I need a skin
think
that I'm
it's
like,
it's an
holy fuck,
interesting
I
test
want
that
that.
we're running
I don't
and
think we
see if
have that
people like
yet.
it better. Some other games with like this kind of recolor skin concept have a similar idea, and we thought we'd give it a try. So pretty decent value if you want more than one, and if you just want one, then just buy one. So, or
Yeah.
if you don't want any, then get the skin for free. Seems like a good deal. Oh, and we have one more new skin, which is a returning skin. Let me go back here, and I will find it.
We don't have like a tier, or sorry, like
I am not as good
a
at running
Smite
the show
2
as Isaiah. I
UE5
apologize
holy
for
fuck
everybody.
You're
skin
doing
yet.
great.
It
Thank
just
you so
doesn't
much.
exist. Doesn't have to be
I
tier
feel
5.
I'm just,
very
Like,
much.
I'm just sitting over
Like,
here
maybe a
watching
tier
you,
4
like,
skins that do
manage
that,
on
but
the phone and the.
we don't have it.
getting
Yeah,
everything
I
up.
should have like printed out the list of things or oh, this is rotating. Okay. So we do have a returning cross-gen skin for Kali, her ceramic circuit skin, which I think this is
That
a
looks
really
pretty
cool one.
good.
This
Yeah,
came
this
in
one is really cool.
towards the end
looks
of
pretty good.
Smite 1, so
I
maybe
like
a lot
the
of people
flat
didn't even
color.
see it.
It kinda looks like
but it's
the
a
color
really
of my
sweet
car.
looking skin. If you own this in Smite 1, you will just
Not-
get
not
it in
her,
Smite
the
2.
weapons.
If not, you
Like
can buy it in
greenish,
Smite 2.
grayish,
It's
whatever the fuck it is.
50% Legacy Gems eligible because it's a new piece of content. And that is it for skins. I have a couple more notes. I'm going to stop sharing the laptop. Okay, other things that are in this patch. There is there's one other thing that's in this patch. I don't know if I can show it. Hold on, let me see if I can find this real quick. I put this in the wrong section on my notes, so now I have to go find it. Doesn't look like it's hooked up yet. But in this patch, we should have a new chest, which is 100% Legacy Gem eligible, of cutesy badges from Smite 1 that have been updated
cool.
for
I don't
Smite
care
2.
about badges.
So if you want some of the
Audio
also an
visual
audio slider for ambient sounds in the map. So you can make those louder if you want to, or you can make them quieter
would
if
you
you
want them
if you didn't like
louder?
them. A couple other
People PvEing.
fixes that we will have. Target
Dev?
highlighting should now work properly in practice.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah. They fixed an issue with the wrong skins effects
should have turned
playing
off
in some
clips.
situations.
That one dude
There
was annoying the fuck
normally
out of me with
hit
them.
effects that were displaying wrong. And then we've also been working on
you can now? Dope. Okay, yeah, that
memory
was annoying.
/ loading optimizations that should be mostly invisible to users, but this is intended
Alright, so
to
these
help
are all just
reduce the
recaps. Alright.
Xbox crashing in particular.
Yep.
Alright,
We
Hirez,
aren't 100.
It seems you've done a decent job with this patch. However, there's a chance tanks come out of this better than they were. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but we don't know it's not gonna happen yet. 3 brand new pure late game tank items, a health item that resets your cooldowns. It's got to be one of the most effective cooldown items in the game, next to the jungler one. Whatever the one is that gives you 4 seconds off everything. That one's probably the best. That HP one might be the second best. I'm very interested to see how the tank items feel. The fact that they complained for 7 days, 6 days, and got 3 new items is fucking crazy. Junglers, we might need to think about this one. We might need to think about some baby raging for a week to see if we get 3 new items. Skins are all right. Apollo looks like Apollo. I think his ult's gonna be very good for team fights. I think he's gonna be strong as fuck. I mean, a level 5 purple buff double dunk dropping a support rate on top of you could be detrimental. We'll see. They got 5 items. There was Erosion. We're not gonna hype up Erosion. Calm down. Erosion's definitely solid, but it definitely feels like more of a support. Like, I need this item and it makes me slightly tankier, like baby tankier. Patch notes are solid. I'm not gonna complain. Ooh, I think I'm not gonna complain. I like it.